All right, everybody, it's the King of Anime podcast, and we are live. We're back. It's been 2-3 weeks? 2 weeks?
It's been
Been
2
a
weeks.
while.
Been a long time.
So, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so we're gonna be quick with this introduction stuff. But, introduce yourself, guys.
Hey, it is me, everything animated. I told you I'd be back, and I'm making videos on my channel now.
Hell
So,
yeah.
I mean, y'all thought I was playing, but I don't play. I'm back.
Satsu?
As for me, I will not. I don't want to be referred to as Satsuki during this podcast because the Satsuki I am right now is not the Satsuki you will probably hear later. So I would like to be referred to as Vodka Satsuki.
No.
As I take another shot.
All right.
Salute.
So yes, if you're watching this video, you clicked on it, and you're like, well, where's the Fire Force rant? You guys are going to talk about Vinland, Saga, and Carol on Tuesday. Check the left side. There's some things you can skip through and click and all that nonsense. But first, we want to talk about Shield Hero Season 2 and 3, or at least I did. The show never officially got killed, so we're going to... That's my lock. Whenever it rolls around, I guess, is Shield Hero Season 2 and Season 3. Are you guys excited for it?
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what they'll do this time around. I mean, I don't know if it'll ever be as good as the first season because it was so it was just so engaging, other than some fillolials here and there. But it was nice overall, and I look forward to seeing what they're gonna do. I guess the next couple seasons. You think they're going to be as long, like 25 episodes, or do you think they're going to be like
Probably.
12 per season, 13 per season?
I think there's like hundreds of chapters of the light novel.
Wow.
So we'll probably get there. Satsuki, thoughts?
Yeah. You guys already know my love for mine is pretty much not unmatched, but it's really up there. So if I get to see more of mine, that's always good with me. Even though, not gonna lie, towards the tail end of that season, she kind of fell off a little bit, just a little bit. But nonetheless, I'm still excited. It should be good. I want to see what they have in store.
Yes, and speaking of falling off, let's talk about Vinland Saga. Episode 9, The Battle of London Bridge. Thorfinn is tasked with taking the head of Thorkel, but Thorfinn is not able to defeat him. And you talk about falling off a little bit. Thorfinn, this is kind of the first time we've seen Thorfinn defeated, a little weak.
Yep. It was, but the person, okay. Thorkel is he's a monster. I think that's the only word I can really describe him. Thorkel is the absolute monster.
Yeah.
I think even Aslad, yeah. In fact, yes, that is the case. Aslad, when he was given Thorfinn the task of taking down Thorkel, before then he was like, I don't have any plan to take him down. And this is a person who even took Thor's down. I mean, it was because of his honor as a warrior, but he had a plan for Thor. For Thorkel, he had literally no plan. He was just like, you kid, try to kill him. We'll see if it works.
That's kind of been his thing for a while, though, is like, let the kid go in there and cause a little bit of havoc.
Yeah, but I think for the most part, he usually has confidence in Thorfinn, but this time it was just a Hail Mary, basically. Just try to kill him and see if it works.
I love Thorkel's attitude.
Yeah, he's very happy-go-lucky. He gets his fingers chopped off, and he's like, "Hey, see you again real soon." After he defeats all the armies and defends London bridges from falling down, he he just goes and he's just yelling, "Come back, you cowards! Where are you going? Come back and
Fight me!
Yeah, fight me!"
He gets his fingers cut off, and he's like, it's like he doesn't even feel it, and blood is gushing out.
Yeah, as he's waving, and blood is spurting out of his fingers. Yeah, he's a pretty cool character, like in a weird sort of way, but like I like him.
All right, so with this episode, I was very much surprised by it. I actually quite enjoyed this episode because there was a lot of great humor in this episode because of Thorkel. I think the best part of this episode is easily when he was on the screen, because he at one point he takes these he takes these logs and he throws them at all these ships, and I'm like, how are you throwing them with like with like just your arms? Like, it's great.
He is a monster. There's no other word to describe him. He
throws a boulder.
Oh yeah, that too. And the thing is, like, when he was getting all the throwing items, everybody was struggling to give it to him. He's just like, okay, god damn, fine, took long enough. Give me that. Just tosses it.
Also, I like some of the comments or some of the live chat saying QRW6 is like, can't wait for your Fire Force rant, and then right after that Black Star's like, not liking the title. Because the title's like Fire Force is bad.
Yeah.
Yes, QRW6 brings up as well, the dude has confidence. He's charismatic as hell.
Mm-hmm.
The guy probably walks with a freaking 5-foot dong. You know, he's got that much confidence, you know.
He probably has so much confidence he doesn't even like care.
He's like, yes, I am manly and I do things and I love fighting.
This is just normal for me.
I eat baby cows.
We also get a glimpse
of
I think Griffith.
Griffith?
Is Griffith in this?
Oh, okay, that's who you're talking about. Canoe. Okay. Oh, who the hell are you talking about? Canoe.
Oh,
yeah, he has feminine features for sure.
He's very Griffith-like, and it made me think: does he have the Baelet?
Oh, you're talking about the freaking Viking helmet?
Yeah, the guy with the Viking helmet on. Yeah.
Can't spoil that.
Is there anything else to talk about? This episode was great.
No.
Just the fighting. The fighting in this episode, the action was unique, was fun. It was fast paced. It got right into the action, and it ended when it needed to end. And it was comedic at times, which I think is something for the last couple episodes or so for Vinland have been rather serious, because we had the episode before where they take the whole fort, which was a great episode. But that was really serious. A lot of people dying, and in this, it kind of ends with the guy getting his fingers cut off, and nothing too gory or depressing.
Yeah. I personally like Thorkel because of his reason for fighting for the people he's fighting. His reason was because it would be a much difficult task to fight you guys than to side with you and take an easy victory. I like that about him.
Yeah.
He's kind of honorable. I don't know.
Yeah. He told everybody to let Thorfinn land so he could fight him one-on-one.
Yeah. And then he told nobody, he's like, back off, this guy's mine. I want to fight him one-on-one. Yeah. And he takes a freaking knife through the hand, and with that same hand, he's throwing him around, breaking every bone in Thorfinn's body.
So, what are we giving this episode of Vinland Saga? I'm passing it. This was a good episode.
Fast.
This show is easily becoming my favorite of the season, if not the year. So I'm definitely passing it.
All right. Let's talk about Carol and Tuesday. Episode 20, Immigrant Song. Led Zeppelin reference, of course. Carol reconnects with her friend from Earth, Amer, now going by Ezekiel, and along with the what? I can't read my handwriting yet. And Angela. They're nominated along with those three. Carol and Tuesday, Ezekiel, and Angela. They're all nominated for Best Artist. But as Angela is preparing for her performance, the Tao is arrested for human experimentation. I'm sorry, jeez, I'm forgetting names.
Wow.
And during an argument with Angela's mother, she passes out. She falls over.
Nah, she's dead.
I don't think she's
Wow.
dead.
Wow.
She had a heart attack and died.
Dark.
I'm telling you, she grabbed her heart and she passed out. She died.
Someone wrote her name in the death note.
Yeah, that's what she did. She said, "How dare you, you little snoot brat! I traded you with."
Let's talk about that scene, actually, since we're already making fun of it for some reason, which I did not expect. But this whole argument was rather like, I felt bad for Angela here. And Angela is a character I initially was like, oh, she's kind of going to be a little bit the antagonist in this. So far, she's kind of been developed as like a secondary protagonist in a weird way. How she's trying to she agreed to be Tao's puppet, and he's trying to make this artificial AI out of her, and her mother doesn't believe in her at all, as we see in this argument, how she's like, just listen to what the AI says, you're not good enough. And Angela believes that she is good enough, and from what we've seen, she is good enough. She's really good. So I really like this whole arc of Angela, where she's trying to, it's a little bit of she's a little angsty. It's a little bit of an angsty storyline where she's just trying to prove herself to her family that she can do this. She has the tools. Just let her do it, and she will not let you down.
To me, it almost feels as if, well, her whole life, her mother was basically forcing her to do something that she wanted for herself. It was never because she thought Angela deserved it. It's because she was the selfish one that wanted to do it. And even when she was talking, you could hear it in her voice. She was saying, I can't wait to get what I deserve. The Grammys, you're almost going to get something that I've been working for my whole life, your whole life or whatever. And it's just like, she's just really living through her child, which is just like, it's a very selfish thing. And during that whole argument, when her mother was kind of talking to her, did it sound like that she took her in and she wasn't even her real mother? Just some of the way how she was speaking, it sounded like she was saying, you don't even, you got nobody else in your life. I'm all that you got. And I'm thinking, is she adopted?
Yeah. Very out of line of her, but it's either that or I think that's less likely, but I think that I didn't think of that, but now that you bring that up, that would be interesting to have, because we know from the drug that her mother took, it really changed her features, and from being on Mars, I guess, and the radiation and stuff. But that would be very interesting. But yeah, I feel like this whole argument that she had with Angela, I felt it was almost one-sided. I felt that Angela, in every way, was the person in the right here. She just wanted someone to believe in her for once, and it just wasn't happening. This was her time. Tao gets arrested for human experimentation from what he did years back, which I guess let's talk about that. Satsuki, what do you think about this Tao being arrested for human experimentation thing?
The first thing that came to my mind is whether the validity of that, whether that's true or not, because with this, I don't know the name of the guy of it who's in charge, but after Tao denied him of working with the political affairs, then he was just like, okay, well, I'm going to put some charges on you. I don't know if these charges are real or not. I don't know if Tao actually did that or not. We probably aren't going to know that, honestly. But I think with Tao, he's had development too, subtly, because he said he was working with AIs to figure out human emotion and whatnot. But I think along the line, like after seeing Carol and Tuesday, after working with someone like Angela, who has a lot of pride, as we seen with this episode, where she didn't want to copy the AI because it was a version of her, and she felt like it was disrespectful to copy an AI. I believe that Tao kind of defying the people in charge was really good development for him. So I really hope that all of this political stuff is dropped with him, because I'm liking his development so far. And I want to talk about the political stuff a little more, but that's all I'll say right now.
Oh yeah, the political stuff is super interesting. This, I mean, well, so we get the introduction of Ezekiel in this show, who is almost he's his music is extremely political. He's someone who came from Earth along with Carol. Him and Carol are actually friends. They grew up together, and he got deported from Mars, and he's going to be sent back to Earth, which is playing in with the thing where Tuesday's mother wants to cut off all trade with Earth, which is, I think we've mentioned this before, but that you can draw some parallels there. And today, so it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I actually initially, when the politics kind of started happening in this half of the season, I was a little confused by it because I didn't know where it was going at first, and it felt weird that they didn't start with it from the beginning. But I'm actually quite enjoying a little bit of the politics in this episode and the way it's developing. But what do you guys think about that?
For me, it's not too bad. I know at the end of the day, it's the show is about two girls living a fucking miracle and performing because they show it at the beginning of every show. It was a miracle. This is the story, if you haven't already known, of this damn show. But yeah, that's what the show is essentially about. I don't mind that it's splashed in there every once in a while, drawing parallels from today's society and whatnot, as long as it doesn't get too preachy. I'm looking at you, Parasite, at the end.
Yeah.
That show got preachy at the end. Oh, it's about the environment. I thought this was about a parasite on some dude's hand, and all of a sudden we're talking about the environment.
Exactly.
But that's the way I look at it. It's not ham-fisted and it's not shoved in your face.
I think for one of the reasons why I think it worked out is because of the introduction of Amer, or Ezekiel, or whatever you want to call him. Sasuke, you said Denzel Curry was in this. Is this who the Denzel Curry cameo is?
Yeah, it was really interesting because I knew that he was going to be in the episode before I actually watched the episode because I seen a tweet about it, and I was thinking where are they going to put him? I was thinking in my mind, are they going to just put a soundtrack in the background with him rapping over it, or what's going to happen? And when it actually happened, I was really excited because he got the spotlight in a standalone scene where he's rapping as Ezekiel, and it was
good.
It was really cool because the message behind it was kind of going against the grain with the current affairs that were happening in the world of Carol and Tuesday. The technology taking over with someone like Valerie, who is Tuesday's mother, of course, denouncing Earth and the fugitives from Earth. So I thought that was so cool with Denzel Curry. And if you didn't know, Denzel Curry is a person who is an anime fan. So this is probably a dream come true for him. So I thought that side of it was cool too. Yeah, it was just all around. It was really cool, and I tweeted about it, and a lot of people liked that tweet because it's Denzel Curry, so it got a lot of buzz. So I'm hoping that scene in particular will make people get into Carolyn Tuesday, because some people are hesitant with it because they aren't so sure. But I think this is what Carolyn Tuesday needed to, get people from the States to start watching.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be on Netflix anyways, so a lot of people are gonna just watch it because it's weirdos on Netflix just watch everything and that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
But yes, I liked Ezekiel. I wonder if Denzel Curry is gonna do the voice acting for him. I probably not, but
Yeah, probably not.
I would like to see that. Also, if you haven't seen Denzel Curry cover Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine, do yourself a favor. Check it out. It's the best cover of a Rage Against the Machine song ever. I don't think there's anyone better than that. God, what else? We get a Bebop reference in here. One of the characters is going through their Instagram. I think it was Ezekiel. And one of the people's name is, I think it's like Cooley Bebop 22.
Oh wow, I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
Me neither.
I caught it out of the corner of my eye. I was like, that's a Bebop reference. We got it. Also, we get one more thing about Tuesday's mother. Tuesday's mother, this whole time, she seems very much like an opportunist, someone who's milking a lot of this tragedy. And and it's obvious to me that she is not a good person. So I wonder how we're gonna see her get her comeuppance near the end of this show, because I'm fairly certain we're gonna see that.
With that in particular, I think the show will kind of write it off as the person who's advising her taking most of the heat, because as Tuesday said with her interview with Kyle, it's not really her mother who was this bad person, because Tuesday herself said, like, this isn't my mother, this isn't Valerie. I think it's more of the guy advising her, telling her, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and she's kind of like a puppet on a string, just like how we see with Angela. I think he's going to be the fall guy.
Isn't that how politicians work in real life?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
There's always a fall guy. Everybody fucking does it, but then it's like, oh, let's throw this guy under the bus.
Yeah. So, don't get it wrong. Like, he is the one to blame, but it's still Valerie who's going along with it. Now, I think the one thing in particular to take note of is the bombing thing that happened in Carolyn Tuesday.
Yes.
If Valerie knew about that, then that kind of puts her in one or two places, if you're the villain or if you're not. Because if she knew that he was going to do something like that, then no matter what you can say about her, she's in that villain category. Oh, but me personally, I don't think she knew about that.
So in the beginning we learned that Carolyn Tuesday, Angela, Ezekiel, all of them are nominated for Best Song. And something I noticed about this is as these two girls are getting more popular and popular, have you noticed they're not getting mega rich instantly? They're still living in, they're still living in this apartment on the top floor or whatever.
Do they even have a manager? I mean, other than Fat Tony?
Fat Tony, I think Roddy.
I mean, it just seems like somebody's really bad with their money. They're spending it on the racing tracks or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I've never noticed that. That's a good point. I've never noticed they're still living in the same place despite all their success.
I wonder if that's going to be brought up like later on down the road, where Carol and Tuesday are going to be like, aren't we getting money? How come we still have to try to do these part-time jobs? Oh, about that.
Also, they write a cool song. The song's really good. It's a much more of a upbeat pop, more pop rock kind of song. I like it. So what are we giving?
It was. Oh,
Sorry,
my bad.
Let's continue.
I was going to say I didn't really pay attention too much to it because it was kind of like in a montage phase. It was it was more of Ezekiel's song I was paying attention to
Yeah.
to be honest.
It's nice to hear a rap song without Jumbo Juice put in it like 100 times, or just like fuck the club up, bitch. Like he was actually rapping about the actual words. I thought that was really nice. No cussing either. I was like, it can be done.
So, what are we giving Carol and Tuesday episode 20?
Oh, easy pass.
Easy pass.
The show has been amazing. It was okay in the middle of this core. It wasn't like as good as the first core, but I'm really, really excited because Cowboy Bebop is kind of, I've been noticing because I finished rewatching Bebop for the millionth time, and there's so many parallels to the way both of these shows are structured, and I think a lot of it as well as it has to do with Mars and the fact that it's kind of explaining a lot of stuff in Bebop in terms of the world, which I find terrific. I don't think that is done by accident. I think that is 100% on purpose, because I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say these two are in the same universe.
You're probably right.
I pass it.
Yeah.
This is very good. This has been one of the most consistent shows.
Is it time? Is it time?
Let me clear my throat.
All I'm gonna say is before we talk about this, make sure to give this video a like on YouTube.
Do it now before you regret it.
That's all I'm gonna say. Make sure.
This show is also sponsored by the letter F. And you know why.
Make sure to give this video a like, and as well comment before we even start. What are your thoughts on this episode of Fire Force?
Oh, you mean we're not going to introduce it?
Let's talk about.
See, we need your thoughts first. I'm sorry.
Fire Force episode 9. The Spreading Malice. Star Eye Guy wants to turn the world into a star for some fucking reason, but Shinra stops him for some fucking reason. He should have. I was rooting for this guy. That's somewhere. Okay, I have the timestamp. This is the note. 8 minutes and 27 seconds is when this show went to shit. That's when I realized this show was bad. Like, really bad. And almost confusingly bad, because the first 4 or 5 episodes were fun. I remember specifically stating before that after the Tamaki thing, I was like, it's not going to be as high rated as it is for other people, but this show is all the female characters in this show are rewards for Shinra to ogle and to have fall head over heels for him. This is terrible. Not only that, but these women, every single fight, they gotta get stripped naked. They gotta. Even worse, in the middle of to be quite frankly honest, an awesome fight scene, Shinra is sent flying into Tamaki, who is, how do I say it? Every single character in King's Game is way better than Tamaki. Sent flying into Tamaki. Sent flying into her boobs, first of all. And then Shinra's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Lucky lechery. I hate that catchphrase, by the way. It's terrible. It's should not be anywhere near a show like this, or any show in particular. It's stupid. And then he's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, Tamaki. I'm just going to get up and go fight. And he pulls her skirt off. What is the point of this happening? Someone explain to me why he pulled her skirt off. And what this added. What did this interaction even add? It just stopped the pace, dead in its tracks. And I was like, hey, let's focus on some TNA. Oh yeah, let's focus. This show's about fighting infernals, not your boner. Ridiculous.
Ridic.
And at one point, I think the Star Guy does a terrible Arte Gun impression. Which, to mention Arte Gun or anything from Carolyn Tuesday in this segment is atrocious, but I just did, and I'm sorry. I apologize.
Arte Gun is great.
The Star Guy yells, "Fire!" And I'm like, what is this? Is this series a joke? Do you David Productions?
Doesn't he say like Starlight or something? A lot.
Okay, let's talk about this guy then. Let's get into his stupid fucking logic. Sorry for using language.
No, go ahead. We're all adults.
But
we didn't want money anyway.
We're not going to get it anyways.
That's right.
From this episode with Tamaki.
We're definitely not going to get it ever.
This guy wants to turn planet Earth into a star. Is he stupid? Is he actually stupid? How is he gonna one person, even if he has magical infernal fire powers, he cannot do that. If I was Shinra, I would have been like, ha 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 ha, and walked away. It's because he's an idiot. And what was the whole thing with him beating up Tamaki? What was the point of that? You just want to see someone abuse a woman for some reason?
Yeah.
Because that's great. And they were like showing angles of her while she's getting beaten that are kind of like, oh, here's an angle of her butt while she's being beaten. What? Like, what is the point of any of this happening? It's confusing. I thought I was watching a show about fighting fires, not whatever this is. Ugh. What else do I have on my notes? Oh, and then Tamaki. Someone is like, hey, Tamaki, here's a coat to cover yourself up. Tamaki goes, oh no, I couldn't cover myself up. I'm not going to ask that much of you. What?
Let them titties hang out.
Why would... I don't know. She's the worst character of this season. Easily. I'm going to say Momoko from the incest anime is way better. I actually like Momoko, and she's trying to have sex with her son. Now put that into perspective.
I certainly will. Well, stepson, right? Am I right? Because I never watched it.
Nope, they're blood related.
Blood related.
Damn. Never mind. I tried.
Wow.
And
yeah.
And why during this whole time she is getting her ass kicked? She can't do anything. She's got to yell for Shinra.
Oh,
Shinra's got to come in.
Yeah.
The man to save the woman. She can fight. Which she used at the very end of this episode. Suddenly she becomes somewhat useful. Why were you before? Like I understand what they were doing here. She had a crush on him, but when she was getting her shit pushed in, she said to herself, she literally said, I don't like you anymore. Fight him! Why aren't you fighting?
I think that was easily the worst part in the episode. It's because we see Tamaki, who's a third generation character, who is on the same capability, well, not capability, but same abilities as someone as Shinra, and she didn't do anything as she was getting her ass whooped. I mean, I get it, she was getting her ass whooped, so maybe you could say, oh, she just didn't have the energy to do what she was supposed to do. But we see later in the episode she was actually doing something. In the fight with I forgot the name. Reika? I think that was his name.
Yeah.
Reika,
something.
Yeah.
They call him Starlight.
Star Eye. She didn't do shit. She did not do anything. She sat there and just kept getting groped or violated by Shinra by her lucky stupid
lechery, which happens at the end
Yeah.
after the credits. There's like a 2-minute scene where, oh my
Is there?
god, yes,
I
yes.
told-
Really? I didn't watch it.
There's a
Me neither.
2-minute. Oh my
watch it.
god, you guys did not see this?
I did not watch it.
Okay, let me explain to you in detail what happens, because it is atrocious. Okay, so at the very end, they're all back in the office, and they're talking to each other. They're like, Sheena's like, everything's back to normal. Maki's her ever beautiful self. The commander guy's doing whatever. Everything's fine. And Tamaki's here, and Sheena's like, Tamaki, can I have your phone number? And she's like, yeah, sure, blushes, because she's already fallen in love with Sheena at this point, of course, because who wouldn't? And then Sheena goes, well, he basically makes a reference that he wasn't getting the phone number for him, it was for, I think, Arthur or something like that, which, by the way, at the very end, they tease Arthur's return or something like that, and I'm like, what? Where did he go? Why are we getting teased on an Arthur return? He's stupid. He's an idiot. We don't need him anymore. Remove him from the show, please. And then Tamaki's like, "Oh, you don't want my phone number because if you want to give it to somebody else, well, I guess I don't like you." And then she gets up. And she trips and she falls. Like, she falls over the desk, but she like does like a zigzag fall thing in midair. I can't understand it. She turns in midair as she's falling, boobs first, into Shinra, and that's how the episode ends.
I gotta say the number was probably not for Arthur. It was probably for the other guy who was in a different division because he liked Tamaki. They mentioned that. I don't know what his name is, but I just had to say that. I don't know what his name is at all.
She breaks the laws of physics and falls and
Boob
turns
physics.
in midair to fall, boobs first, into Shinra. Tamaki, and by the way, they're like, wait, Tamaki, why are you here suddenly? And Tamaki's like, I guess I'm just here.
I don't know, for me, because I know people might call me a hypocrite because, listen, my favorite anime is Kill I Kill. If you haven't watched that anime is fan service.
Yeah,
Not,
I'll be the
not
first to
fan
admit.
service heavy. It's fan service centric.
I love Kill La Kill. I air quotes love. Why the hell are you here, teacher? I like trashy, ecchi fan service stuff and stuff that has fan service in it. This ain't it, dog. This ain't it.
I think, for me personally, when I'm enjoying anime and I'm rating them a certain way, I always look at your intentions as well, or at least what it's coming off as. Fire Force doesn't seem like the fan service is trying to be included in the plot. It's not trying to be an ecchi anime. It's not like High School DxD. It's not Kill La Kill, where the fan service is literally intertwined in a plot. It's not like that. It just has fan service to pick up more viewers. Some people were looking at those Tamaki scenes, and I'm being for real. They were like, "Oh, I like this," and I'm like, "Why?" It took away from the tone of the fight. I'm looking at the fight as it's happening, and it's not seeming as serious as it should be because in the middle of it, Shinra is touching Tamaki's boobs and whatnot, and it's stupid. It takes you out of it. So, as somebody who is literally a self-proclaimed person who is a man of fan service, this episode was not it. If you're going to do fan service, at least have the decency to, have a reason for it. Don't just sprinkle it in the episode just because, the fans will like this. No, it was no real reason for it.
I'm gonna address it. People saying I'm overreacting. I 100% agree. I am overreacting. But I think a lot of the points I'm making are sailing it, and they make sense. Too much. It's too much. It's too much where it takes away from the show. It doesn't make sense. We haven't even talked about the cool stuff. There's cool stuff in this episode. There's a cool fight scene. We haven't talked about it. Because that's all I got from this episode was Tamaki being a fan service character, taken away from the show.
That's her whole character. That's the thing. It's not like it's just a small part of her character. Like if I could make a comparison, like Urza from Fairy Tail. As bad as Fairy Tail is with fan service, at least Urza she's multifaceted and has many things or she has many things besides the fan service to her character. Tamaki, as she has been shown in this episode, she hasn't been shown to be useful in a fight. She hasn't been important to the plot. She's just been there as tits to be grabbed by Shinra. That's not good. Why is she here? I don't get it.
And there should be more good points for this show, but I feel like every time a fight like this comes around, it doesn't deliver. It never delivers. And what's the point of a shonen like this if the fights don't deliver? Which I would argue that this fight was way better than the Hibana thing. Like, it was actually, I thought it was pretty decent. Because the animation was good. Some of the, like, Shinra uses like a supercharged arm bar, which I thought was just amazing. It looked great. I like when he comes in and he drop kicks. He one-legged drop kicks the star guy into the ground and forces his head into the ground. That's great. That's great stuff. In the flashback, I think with the star guy in the beginning, that was cool. The Tamaki stuff in it was terrible, but his backstory was decent. It was okay. It was entertaining. If Tamaki was removed from this, I still think we'd be disappointed, but I think we'd be okay. Like, I think we generally give this show a pass.
Yeah. I like Reika. He was funny to me. Like, the way he kept saying, like, to the kids and to everybody else, like you have to take this on, and he was trying to act like kind of the hero, but we all realized, like, dude, you have something seriously wrong with you. You are crazy.
Yeah.
But he just did not realize it himself. I thought that was pretty funny. Like, that was Soul Eater-esque, because Soul Eater always has, like, the theme of madness in it, and that's what he kind of embodied. But it was all taken away because you kept throwing it this unnecessary shit with Tamaki, and it's really unfortunate, but that's what it was for me. I'm not trying to nitpick the series. That's just what was in it, and I just could not get the correct tone for the series because of the Tamaki stuff.
Here's the way I see it when it comes to this show overall. It's something where it came out as being just a little fun show about fighting people that turn into combustible fighting, I don't know, fire people or whatever, I don't know. But for some reason, this show has a nice budget and it's got great animation. I'm definitely not taking anything away from that, but you can only do so much with animation if the characters themselves are very one-dimensional and they don't give back. There's really nothing much else you can do. I personally think these characters are boring. Like, every single one of them. They're not at all interesting. The only thing that was holding it up was the animation, and now the show doesn't even know what it wants to be, because sometimes you have your shows like Keijo and High School DxD and all these where it works. I'm not saying it has to be a spoof or whatever for it to work, because I've seen some good shows that splash in that stuff here and there because, hey, that's anime. Anime's always had that in there. I'm totally fine with it. But when you have it in pivotal moments, kind of like what you guys just said, where, hey, we're fighting, where this guy is talking about how he wants to turn the world into the sun, And now all of a sudden we get them titties in the face randomly, and it just really throws it off. And as a viewer, you just kind of look at it and you go, "That's just why." It doesn't fit the mood whatsoever. If it was throughout the whole series, I would understand that. But even when it was showing it early on, it just felt very out of place. And that's my 2 cents when it comes to this show as a whole.
Yeah. It's disappointing.
That's a great way to put it. It's very disappointing. It had such high hopes, only for it to just go downhill.
This is the same guy who wrote Soul Eater. Soul Eater, if you guys don't know, just for me personally, has one of my favorite female villains in Medusa. One of my favorites. She is absolutely great. And then you just come out with Fire Force and Soul Eater, don't get me wrong, Soul Eater had its fan service here and there, but nowhere near what Fire Force has showed in the course of just what episode are we on? Like, goddamn, it's like it's bad. All right, it's bad. I did not get the same feeling I got with Soul Eater, which is like 50 something episodes, versus Fire Force, which we haven't even breached episode 10 yet. It's bad.
I will say this though. Yeah, we're 9 episodes into Fire Force. It's kind of going by quick. So it's got a good pace to it, I guess. Is my opinion, from my perspective. Just disappointing. That's it. Final thoughts. I think we've covered everything. What are we giving Fire Force? Episode 9. I know what I'm giving it. Everyone knows what I'm giving it. So what are you guys giving it?
I'm giving it a so long, farewell, Avita, say goodbye, adieu, adieu to Fire Force. Fire Force.
Oh God. I mean, I kind of don't want to give it a rating just because you're talking of vodka Satsuki and not the real Satsuki. But I think even when I get sober, each Satsuki will come to an agreement that this show has to go.
Yep. 3 kills. And so we speak. So we close our speech on Fire Force. Let's talk about some CKOA, which I almost forgot to post. What else is new? We got 10 votes this time. Quite a bit. Fruits Basket.
That's a record.
5 kills, 5 passes. I guess people did not like this episode of Fruits Basket.
What? Huh?
It's...
What happened? Did I watch a different episode?
Yeah, I thought this episode was great. Fire Force, 8 kills, 2 passes. People seem to agree. Dr. Stone, 9 passes, 1 kill. Dr. Stone going along rather nicely. How heavy are the dumbbells you lift? 5 kills, 4 pass. And are you lost? 5 kills, 5 passes. These people seem to be lost on that one.
Hey.
Fire Force has been eliminated from the CKOA this week.
Wow.
Yep. Very surprising. I find a lot of people in my Discord server, which everyone should join, everybody usually likes it. So, shoutouts. Where can they find you, EA?
Hello, it's your friend Pennywise. You can find me under your bed.
That was really good.
God.
That was really good.
Don't do that to me now. I might actually check under my bed.
You got some new videos, EA.
Hello, Satsuki. Have you been drinking?
No!
I heard you've been drinking. You're very, very bad.
Satsuki.
It's just a rumor.
Or
Don't
not
believe
Satsuki.
it.
EA,
Yeah.
you got some new videos.
Oh, does he? I'm gonna have to tell him when he comes back.
All right, EA's got some new videos. Check out his channel. Satsuki, where can they find you?
You can find me in a vodka bottle, probably staring at you in a reflection.
That's depressing.
I'm swimming right now, with no floaties. But as far as what I'm doing on the channel, unordinary videos, of course. I finally came with an Attack on Titan video so people could leave me alone because I kept getting video or comments like, when is the new Attack on Titan review coming out? Talk about Attack on Titan. Well, here it is, guys. All right. So yeah, yeah, that's about it though. I'm hoping that Citrus Plus comes out with a chapter because I've been waiting on that. Might review that. I'm not sure yet.
Let's
That's
talk
it though.
about. Let's switch over to Nakama Club, where we're talking about Madoka Magica this week. Like we talk about every week until it's done. We're on episode 4 of Madoka Magica. Madoka and Sayaka mourn the death of Mami and cut ties with Kyubei, but when Kyubei saves Hitomi and the others from suicide, she is trapped inside the witch's realm. But Sayaka, now a magical girl after wishing for Kyosei to be saved, saves Madoka. Afterwards, we are introduced to Kyoko, and man, she is a treat. But is she a threat to Sayaka and Homura?
All right, I'm back. I had to shoo Pennywise away.
All right.
Goddamn Pennywise.
Listening diligently. So Kyoko. Can I just say, I don't know anything about her. I mean, I've seen this show before, but I don't remember anything about this show. I am excited for Kyoko.
I don't know who she is. I have bad feelings.
I am a Kyoko lover, so to see her at the end, I forgot which episode she was going to be introduced in. So when it was this episode at the very tail end of it, I was like, yes, Kyoko. I mean, I don't think you guys are going to like her that much because she is one of those. I won't spoil her. I won't say anything.
From her facials,
I won't say anything.
From her facials at the end, she reminded me of Mordred from Fate Apocrypha, so that could be a good thing. But this episode is really about accepting their reality, kind of what Mommy is dead. Nobody's going to remember her, and when or if they do, she'll be long gone. So might as well just forget about her anyways. They kind of like separate from Kyubei in this episode, and she shows back up. I wonder if because there's the Sayaka thing where Kyosuke and Sayaka, they have this weird relationship where Kyosuke basically kind of just mopes around because he can't feel anything, and Sayaka just feels really sorry for him, which is really sad. And I could definitely see where they're heading with this kind of arc between these two. But Sayaka basically uses her wish. She wishes for Kyosuke to get better. And I think this is a mistake for Sayaka to do this, because Kyubei, so far, at least for me, very, very shady little creature he is. He's always like, make a wish! Make a wish! Have you made a wish yet? You should make a wish! And it finally happened, and now she's a magical girl. I don't know how long she would have to be a magical girl, but I definitely feel Sayaka made a mistake here.
Well, she had good intentions when she did it. You know, she wanted to make her fingerless friend feel again. Not fingerless, but you know what I mean. Like, he couldn't feel.
Yeah.
He couldn't feel.
We get it.
His wrist. Yeah, thank you. But like, he wanted him to feel again, and now all of a sudden that's happened, and I think it's gonna come back and bite her in the butt.
Yes, because I think it was addressed in another episode of like, Sayaka, what do you want? What do you want out of this? If you pursue this, what do you think you're getting out of this? Because if you think that you're getting his ever-loving affection, his love, you may want to rethink that, because he may not repay those same feelings to you, and you'll be heartbroken. And not only that, but not only will you be heartbroken, but you made a wish for a person who possibly doesn't even like you? which I guess she's doing it out of the kindness of her heart. But you know what she could have done? She could have just like wished for like no more cancer. You know, like there's so many better wishes, and the whole thing with the last couple episodes have been like these wishes are important. Do not make them lightly. And I feel like Sayaka, she did what she did, but I feel like, I don't know. I definitely feel like Hyubei took advantage of that moment to show up right there, right at that instant, because I think he knew. And I think Hyubei wanted that wish to happen and go down because I think Hyubei is a little asshole. So I think.
Okay. I will say about Kyubey, and it isn't necessarily a spoiler, but Kyubey he's a person that he's literally in the middle. He's not actively like trying to be a villain or anything like that. And of course, as we've seen in the series so far, he's not going to try to help you. If you want to make a wish, regardless what it is, he will grant that wish, as he said before. So I think when it comes to the magical girls, they have to make a wish that is selfish as hell. They have to make a wish that they are willing to fight for, because as they said in the series, you're not fighting just to protect people. You're fighting to kind of pay back that wish. That's basically it. So if you have something that you regret, then that's on you, because you made that wish and you just had to live with it. And I think, as C said, with the wish to wish Kyosuke's hands back, basically, I think that's something that Sayaka wished on impulse, and that's not a good sign. It's not something that she thought like, oh like these are the steps and this is going to work out in the long run. No, it's because she felt vulnerable at that moment because Kyosuke lashed out at her, and he was feeling bad because he couldn't play his I don't know what the fuck he plays, but
piano,
violin.
I don't know.
The bass.
Let's just say he could not be the musician that he wanted to be, and because of that, Sayaka felt like it was sort of her duty to wish his hands back, and it's on impulse. This is something you have to work for the rest of your life. You become a slave to your wish. It's not something that you just wish for, you can pay off in a couple of years or whatever. No, this is something you dedicate your whole entire life for. All right, and you'll see more from it later, but that's something that you can take note of right now.
All right.
Damn.
Real quick, because we're running out of time. Rapid fire thoughts, EA. What do you think?
This episode was very it was very sad because you also you saw the repercussions of what happened to Mummy and how she died. And then you see Madoka and Sayaka basically pondering I loved how they basically were saying the real world doesn't feel the same anymore. It feels very different than what it was. You can't obviously after that, how can you look at anything the same after seeing something tragic like that? And Homer was sprinkled in there basically saying, told you bitches not to do it. that's how that happened. But as we see, Sayaka does her thing, and I almost feel because she did this, now Madoka's gonna have to do it because now her friend did it, and we have some Sundari, Kyoko added into this now, and it's great. We'll see what fucking happens.
All right.
I don't think you guys are gonna like her.
I can't wait to blast her as I print out a paper, put her on some sheets, and then take her out to the desert and just unload my 22 on her.
All right. that's the end of the show. Thanks everybody for coming out. If you haven't already, give this video a like. Make sure to comment what you thought about this week's anime. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you later. And we'll see you later. So bye-bye.
Johnny.
Goodbye.